A lot of judges, they are elected, but they do not act like they are elected. So this is a situation people really need to look into and get some competition there, because a lot of the ones I work for, they're elected, but they do not put the public first in their oppositions.
Well, let me say something. You can't look into them because you can get their name. Oh, so-and-so. You Google it. Ain't no information about them. You don't know the school they went to. You don't know how they ruled on different situations. You don't know what they stand for. So how do you look into judges before
you have to get people involved in, because like you said, there's no one that runs against them because they run it like almost like the Mafia. So you have to get people involved in, because like you said, there's no one that runs against them because they run it like almost like the Mafia. So
I think I'm entitled. You want answers. The truth. You can't handle the truth.
Welcome to another episode of The Outsiders. We're going to be giving you information because there's a lot of knuckleheads out there. We've got World War III. Any time they're shooting intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is what Russia's doing. First time ever on the planet an ICBM is shot at another country. So we got a lot going on. And of course, later in the show, we're going to talk about the Mafia judges, La Cosa Nostra. We're going to talk about that, the circuit court corruption that's going, the debacle that's going on in that circuit court. It ain't all roses and sunshine. No, it is not. And we're going to, you know what happened with the, and I told everyone 2 years ago on The Outsiders, on this show, I said Trump's going to win. People didn't like it. People whining and crying, grown men acting like little girls who had their ponytails pulled too hard, feelings hurt. Grown men, my feelings, I can't talk about it now, Sean. Oh no, it's too much, my feelings. Oh, man up, wow. Okay, you lost. You got your arse handed to you. And that's what happened. But that's okay. That's okay, because time goes on. Things are going to get better. Thank goodness. This border, what's going on with these criminals here in this country, gangs, all kinds of nonsense, that's going to get taken care of. But in the meantime, Beyonce, she's licking her wounds, but she's taking care of herself. She's doing just fine. As a matter of fact,
Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce. Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Beyonce. Party with Beyonce. Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce.
That's enough of that. But oh, that's a hit. That's being played in clubs everywhere. That is a hit. But she'll be okay with all the money she grifted from the $1.5 billion. I'm pretty sure with all that money, went through $1.5 billion in 13 days. Wow. But so I'm pretty sure she'll be just fine, unless, you know, somebody goes looking for that money. I don't know, things could get rough if that happened. But then again, who knows? Who knows? But I just want to ask a question, because I got my Ravens shirt, my Ravens sweater on. It's real nice, little Ravens watch. Are Baltimore City streets safe? Would you consider Baltimore City streets, Detroit City streets? I guess New York's a lot safer than Baltimore. Would you consider these, you know, streets, would you consider them safe? Because there's some things going on involving Monty, safe streets. I want to get right to it. And it's very interesting. Here we go.
The OIG report indicates they use fake names as a workaround. The city audit department wouldn't accept contracts indicating a vacancy because unfilled positions meant there was no one to allocate the money to. The investigation found no evidence that Monsi funds went to fictitious employees, but 11...
Well, stop. Wait a second. Let me get this straight. You have this Monsi, Peppermint Patty's running that now. And they're talking about how great and wonderful they are, and we take care, we're going to make sure the city's safe. And they've got names, fake names, allegedly, that they were going to or possibly did, who knows? They're saying, no, they didn't go to the fake names. Like Lamar Jackson, I guess that's supposed to be Lamar Jackson, and somebody Humphrey. Oh, no, they didn't get the money. But you wanted to allocate the money out to these fake people. But we just good as apple pie. We just smiling. We're going to do Baltimore so good. We are so good, all that money. Let's continue the story. Dave Collins, WBL.
News has learned so far, one person has been fired as a result of the findings.
Well, they should have been. More than one.
They may sound slightly familiar. Allen Iverson, Joseph Bonds, Lemur Jackson, Merlin Humphrey. Some of the fictitious names Monsi suggested contractors use to fill in the blank on vacant positions when they submitted them to the City Board of Estimates for approval.
Unbelievable.
The OIG says 9 of those positions were budgeted for $285,000 over various contracts.
Wow.
Until now, agreements submitted to the City Board of Estimates for approval had to be completely filled out. The OIG did not find any evidence of money paid to a fictitious name.
Yeah, quickly, I did give Isabel Cumming a call. Hopefully I'll be hearing from her because I want to talk to her about find out what is going on.
Hey.
I want to be very clear that there is no evidence of financial mismanagement.
According to the report, a Monsi employee told a hospital contractor, off the record, neither Monsi nor the audits team will verify the individual. So we really just need a name that doesn't sound fictional. The report quotes another Monsi employee telling a contractor, any name can be listed as long as it isn't the repeat of another staff member.
Well, isn't that wonderful? Hey, look, you can just put any name on here because, we got to find a way. We got to find a way to get over. We got to work this grift. So just put a name on there, make it look like it could be real. This is comical. They're a bunch of clowns. They're a bunch of clowns, corrupt clowns, crooks. I see those prison cells just awaiting for when all this gets said and done. Oh, sure. Just make sure it's a name that people will believe. It's legit. When we ask for all these funds, we need fake names, okay? Because that's how Baltimore rolls. Fake names. That's how we're going to do it. Let's go on. Monsi, Safe Streets. Speaking of Safe Streets, but of course Brandon's everything's just fine. Brandon, everything's just fine. There was nothing happened. Nothing. No way to look here. Everything's just above board. Really? Let's take a gander. Take a listen.
45 News has been investigating the Safe Streets program for years. Today's reports confirm much of our findings.
Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost has led that investigation. She has a closer look at both reports.
Let's first start with the audit. We obtained a copy of it, though the city is expected to release it and present it to the Board of Estimates Wednesday morning. In it, city auditors found that Monsi paid more than $200,000 to Safe Streets workers, but they never verified that the workers actually did the work that they claimed. And the findings in this audit really underscore the importance of getting answers to some of the questions that we have been asking about the Safe Streets program for years. Fox 45 News exclusively obtaining a copy of this. The Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement audit done by the city's auditor. Monsi oversees the implementation of Safe Streets, though Catholic Charities and LifeBridge Health run the 10 different sites. Paging through it, you'll see evidence of inaccurate bookkeeping. The audit found...
Wait. Inaccurate bookkeeping? That's called cooking the books. Hey, you know what? They're cooking the books. You know what? It was just inaccurate. We just made a mistake. I mean, I didn't really mean to add another zero. I didn't mean to put, you know, certain numbers in certain columns and use fake names allegedly. I didn't really mean to do it. It was just an inaccuracy. Is that what it was? Well, we'll find out.
Monzi did not have a process to track all payments made, resulting in...
Oh, you know what? We were just so stupid. This is just a mistake we made. We just forgot. You know, we just forgot to track where the money goes. It was just an error on our part. That's all it was. It was an error. We just forgot how to manage money. All these people you're paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and all this hundreds and thousands, hundreds, maybe millions of dollars going out, and they don't know how to manage. They forgot to keep track of the money. We just forgot. Please believe us.
Duplicate payments to the nonprofits worth more than $290,000.
Wait! I didn't even play Mackenzie Frost 2 seconds later. Duplicates? You know what? We forgot then. We just messed up. It's just another error. We were just making duplicates and sending them out. That's all we were doing. Hey, just look the other way.
In dollars. But that's not all. From July 1st, 2021 to January 31st, 2024, Monzi paid more than $257,000 for Safe Streets workers' wages.
Wow.
But according to the audit, the time cards did not match what was...
Wait. We made it. We slipped up again. You know, the time cards didn't match. This is ridiculous. The time cards didn't match either. Because, hey, we're just as nice and sweet as apple pie. We would never try to grift y'all. We would never try to grift all this money coming in. Isn't that ARPA funds? Is that being commingled with that? Is that federal dollars that went to, ouch. Ouch, that's federal money that they, anyway, that's another story. Let's go on with this utter freaking clown show.
For the days worked for 180 of the 271 samples reviewed. That's 66% of the time. The time cards for Safe Streets workers didn't match the work completed.
60+% of the time. Wait, stop. Over 60% of the time, the time cards didn't match. Okay. You know what? And I'm really curious to hear what Slim Shady. There's a reason why he called Slim Shady. It looks like Mayor Slim Shady's rear end is in a sling. There's some trouble in his little gangster paradise. Okay, let's go on with this.
Monzi does not require the nonprofits like Catholic Charities and LifeBridge to submit a payroll register, including the employee names, payroll period, and salary detail.
How convenient. Hey guys, you don't have to show us jack squat. Just, you know, we trust you. Don't document or show us anything. Here's the money.
Needs to take the lead on this. The Board of Estimates was lied to.
For years, we have been asking Mayor Brendan Scott to lift the veil on Safe Streets. From not producing monthly reports documenting the details of Safe Streets operations.
Did you know that the organizations are not providing Monzi monthly reports?
So again, this is what we're talking about. Safe Streets is a program that has been tested and tried through. And when you look at our community partners that run Safe Streets, like LifeBridge, Health, Catholic Charities, these are...
Wait. Did he literally just say they are so angelic, they are tried and true and tested, we don't need to show you nothing. Nothing. Because, you know what, we're tried and true and we're tested. So why do we need to show you anything? Said Slim Shady. Said the Shady Mayor. Let's go on. Wow. Okay, where was I? Let me hit that. Okay, got it.
Top quality organizations, and we're going to continue to make sure that we're being responsible with taxpayers' dollars.
Did he say top
WJZ
quality?
has now learned that the FBI raided the Safe Streets Bel Air Edison location of Bel Air Road earlier today. As you know, Safe Streets is Baltimore's anti-violence program. A spokesperson for the FBI tells us their agents were conducting, and I quote, court-authorized activity, but they would not confirm details of that activity. WJZ asked Mayor Scott on today about...
Wait. Now, the FBI would not confirm because they're not. Once they start raiding you, they've already got people who rolled on you. Let me explain something to you, Slim Shady. When they go in, they've already got the information. They've already got the people. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of them, several of them, who've rolled on you and just threw your scrawny ass under the bus, then took that bus, shifted it in reverse, and ran back over you again. See, that's already done. So they've gone in, and I was already given the game plan. Oops, little birdie. Oops, ouch. Ooh. Maybe I said too much. But I already see it coming. Okay. Let's go on. Listen to what Mayor Slim Shady has to say, because he's so above board.
Today's raid, he says he agrees with holding everyone accountable, including Safe Streets.
What I directed the police department to do is to hold any and everybody.
Now he's trying to make it sound as though he directed it. You know, for those who, you know, don't have the highest of IQs, and they'll hear what he just said. I directed. No. This is a federal raid. Numbnuts. You didn't direct nothing. You will be getting directed. They will be giving you directions. I'm not going to say to where you'll be getting those directions to. I don't want to let too much out of the bag yet. Let's go on.
Accountable for wrongdoing, no matter who they are, and we work with our federal partners every day.
Now, hear what he said, everyone. Be accountable for what, no matter who they are. Okay. I'm going to hold you to that, kid. No, take that back. The federal government, they're going to hold you to that.
Through this investigation and any others that we come up with working in that partnership.
The Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, also known as MOST, currently oversees the Safe Streets program. Over the past few months, the program has been called into question in the wake of the Brooklyn Day mass shooting, where Safe Streets members were said to have been present.
We've learned 2 other search warrants were also executed. In a statement, LifeBridge Health tells 11 News 2 of our staff members have indicated that federal agents showed up at their residence.
Like I just said, people are rolling on you, okay? They've already rolled on you. Once they start going in, it's a wrap.
We are treating this incident seriously and complying with requests from authorities.
It just blows my mind. The word Safe Streets and you get raided doesn't make any sense to me. What's the use in having a program if y'all are going to be doing the same things the people in the streets is doing, but y'all supposed to be trying to help us?
Yeah, doing the same thing the people in the streets are doing. That's ARPA money being used. That's the feds. You know, here we go again with Baltimore again with this mess, this debacle. This is comical. It's sad. It's a disgrace to have somebody of the ilk, somebody like a Brandon Scott as the mayor of the city I lived in for so many years. It's disgusting. It's a disgrace. And how he got back in, I don't believe it was legit. As long as Armstead Jones is the director of the Board of Elections Baltimore City, I don't believe none of it, period. Who's in there now? But it's a disgrace. And what else? The other disgrace, DPW. These DPW, we had a rally on the 15th regarding Timothy Cartwell, and I wish his family condolences. What's going on? It's just a complete disgrace. I spoke with his sister. Hopefully I can have her on the Outsiders. They're preparing for his funeral. So that's what's going on with DPW. And I reached out to Khalil Zaid reached out to you, Khalil, and did not get an answer back. I was actually told, didn't get an answer, reached out for him to do an interview, to talk to the people, and for whatever reason he decided that he did not want to talk to the people. He did not want to talk to the outsiders, and I was given inside information that he should be and will be more than willing to speak to the outsiders, and I was encouraged to call Khalil. I was encouraged to call him, and I did. I sent him an email as well. Yes, in front of City Hall, I said that he should be fired. Still believe so. Haven't changed my mind, but I don't have a problem with giving somebody an opportunity to explain themselves and communicate. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not afraid, unlike some people. I don't care, Republican, Democrat, Independent. I don't care what your belief system is. I don't care how much you've screwed up or messed up. It doesn't matter to me. I don't censor like others censor because they're weak. So I gave him an opportunity and didn't take it. And I just want people to hear what's going on with DPW. I know it's out there already, but the outsiders, we're involved in this. And just take a listen. Okay, here we go.
My brother-in-law was not just a trash man. My brother-in-law was a man of courage, of good deed, of love, of support, of giving. He was kind, he was gentle, and he was a man that stood for what was right.
Shante Carroll is the sister-in-law of Timothy Cartwell. He died after becoming trapped between a wooden utility pole and the trash truck he was loading. It happened November 8th at an alley off Baker Avenue in West Baltimore.
We need for you to step up. Do what's right. Fix what needs to be fixed. Don't wait another second. Don't wait another minute. Don't wait another hour.
They want answers and they want change. They want accountability and they want justice.
We are going to continue in this vein to look up what needs to be done, what recommendations we can make improvements.
How Cartwell became pinned is being investigated by police in Mosh. Those at the rally blame what they call a toxic culture inside DPW, and in their words, the agency's out-of-control leadership.
We appear to be dealing with a pattern of neglect and failure by leaders and supervisors charged with carrying out their duties.
Mr. Zaid, who's the head of DPW, I believe that Mr. Zaid should be fired.
Yeah, I said it. And say it again. He should be canned. He should be fired. This is what happens when you go and you're supposed to be a director, you're supposed to be a leader, a manager, whatever situation you're going into. Brandon put this knucklehead in, okay, put him in, and he got in there. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to look at policies and procedures. What's going on within the agency that you are now the head of. Then you have a death that happens with the Silver, Ronald Silver II. Then you got to kick it in overdrive. You're supposed to look at any parts of DPW where there is a physical part where the job injury could take place, harm could take place, and you're supposed to go over that policy and procedure, boy, like a fine-tooth comb. Everything, all of it. And make sure it doesn't happen again. What is the policy and procedure? Nobody is asking it except me, usually the brightest bulb in the room. No one's asking it. Policy and procedure. What was the policy and procedure for small, tight alleyways? What's the policy and procedure? What's the protocol? How are the workers supposed to operate in that situation? Did Zayed do it? Khalil, did you do it? I don't believe, of course you didn't. You're too busy worrying about playing politics with the workers and the employees, going to people's houses and, hey, y'all, I'm here to help. I want to do good. I want to do so good for y'all. He's worried about that. Supervisors, I can't do anything about I can't do this. I can't do that. Shut up. They should have fired you. You are incompetent. Now, I'm going to read something. I'm going to read some information I have from a source, and we'll get into this more later, but it involves Mr. Zaid. Let's be clear, just as Zaid is a director, he gets no pass. He is familiar with Baltimore and worked at one of Baltimore's most racist operations, and that is the Department of Transportation. He did nothing there, and the bar is low for him here. That means where he's working now as the head DPW. In addition to Zaid, any DPW Human Resources Director, previous director, and Chief of Staff working at DPW from 2018 to the present time wants a full investigation by the OIG because they are complicit. They knew or should have known of these conditions and failed to take corrective action. Hey, Circuit Court for Baltimore City. Hey, Lionel Moore, the court administrator. Hey, the Department of General Services, which Zaid actually used to be at the head of. Hey, Sheriff's Office. Hey, you people. Did you hear what I just said? Let me just read that. They failed, to take corrective action. Does that sound familiar? Because the situation is going on down there right now. I'm going to be getting in contact with you, General Services. I'm going to be getting in contact with you again, Lionel Moore, who I had a conversation with. I had a very interesting conversation. I'm going to segue because this is what's going on within Baltimore City. This is the toxicity, the culture of toxic culture, retaliation, harassment, discrimination, negligence, dereliction of duty. This is what's going on, taking corrective action. And there's some, allegedly, because I'm going to say it that way, I'm very familiar with what's going on. There's allegedly falsification of insurance documents by the Circuit Court, Baltimore City. There were reports that were supposed to have been given, a report, singular, which should have been given to Lionel Moore, the court administrator. How do I know that? Lionel Moore, the court administrator, told me. And he also said that report, it was an accident report. Can't get into detail, but he also said that that report was supposed to go to General Services so they can cure the issue that's in the building, the Mitchell Courthouse building. There's a situation there. Corrective action has not taken place unless it's already taken place as I'm recording this podcast. General Services and the Sheriff's Office did not get a report. I don't know what's going on with you knuckleheads. I don't know what you think you're doing. But I will be getting in touch with the insurance commissioner to go over what's going on with this alleged falsification of an insurance document. And on that document, it states how to cure or recure whatever defect is in the building that caused the injury. And they have done nothing about it. Corrective action. I digress. Let me get back to the DPW. We know that HR has failed on all fronts. DPW is not the only place that HR has failed. Circuit Court for Baltimore City, Administrative Office of the Courts. This is the judiciary. It's a disgrace. You hear me, Judy Rupp, the State Court Administrator? You hear me, Xavier Washington, the Clerk of the Court? Do you hear me, Lionel Moore, the Court Administrator? It's a disgrace. But that's okay because it's going to be coming out and people are going to know what you're doing. Okay? They go, you're going to make you famous. Your actions have made you famous. And we're going to make you, and I mean we, because I am not the only one. There's a whole wrecking crew. And we're going to make y'all famous. So stay tuned, you hear? Let me finish this letter. The acting director of solid waste is added to this as any leader who had an opportunity to correct the failures. Uh-oh, here we go again, correcting the failures. Set the proper example and hold folks accountable. Mr. Zaid needs to go, and all of his direct reports that he has inherited are failures and need to go also. Bye. I like that. Exclamation mark. So that's what's going on with Zaid as far as I'm concerned, because I only have 2 words to say to Mr. Zaid. And I'm going to let Vince McMahon, I'm going to let him say those words for me. Go ahead, Vince.
Yes! Screw you! You're fired! Yes!
You're fired! Khalil Zaid. Hit the bricks. That's what needs to be done. And of course, Brandon, even if they fire this ass clown, he's going to bring some other jackass in for that position. Okay, some other knucklehead. There's a whole bunch of expletives I can use, and this is a podcast, so I can say whatever I want. But I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go there. But there's some choice words I have for this guy and for the mayor who hired him. He's at fault as well. He's at fault for these deaths. That's you, Brandon. Among other deaths. I'm pretty sure. So they're the ones who are at fault with this situation with DPW. And again, condolences to the family, to the Cartwell family, who are preparing for the funeral for Timothy Cartwell. Now I want to go and touch on, and I've already mentioned his name because he's been hiding, except he popped out just like a little groundhog. He popped his head out on October the 4th on the Frank Conaway Senior Show with Robert DeShiel and Carlton Douglas. I know Carlton. And the other young lady, she's an attorney. Popped his head out. He should not have done it because he's an idiot. Popped his head out, ran his mouth, and called the judges. Said that they act as though they're the Mafia, the Costa Nostra, at the circuit court. Now, this is what I did. I got in touch with, I was attempting to get in touch with Judge Audrey Carrion. She's the top judge at the circuit court for Baltimore City. Okay. And her person said, oh, you got to do this, that, and the other. Of course, she's not going to talk to me because she's just above it all. Aren't you, Audrey? Just above it all. So she's nothing, of course. All the stuff that's going on under your nose, Judge Carrion, Audrey Carrion, all the stuff that's going on under your nose in that circuit court, that clown show, embarrassing. You should be embarrassed. But I guess that's okay. You got that black robe on, so everything is fine. Everything is peachy. Everything is peachy keen. Peaches and cream. Because you got the black robe on. It's a disgrace what's going on under your nose. So I got in contact, and he did a little bit of a runaround, and so I spoke with Terry Charles, the communications person. Bradley Tanner, he's gone. Thank God. Thank you, Lord Jesus. He's gone, Bradley Tanner. Now Terry Charles is, I don't know if she's taken over his, she was very busy, but she listened to me. She was professional. She finally got back to me. Had to twist a few arms. Had to twist a few arms, put a little chicken wing But she got back to me and she listened to what I had to say. And yes, Judge Carry-On and others, I will be sending you the letter with all the nonsense and all the activity. I'll leave it at that. Activities. Certain activities that are going on right under your nose. Still don't know who's in charge of that building. The Cummings building and the Mitchell building, I guess the Juvenile Justice building as well, never got an answer from these knuckleheads. Never, numbnuts. Never got an answer who's in charge of the actual building. Doc Cheatham, myself, Linda Batts, Mary Hughes, we inquired to find out who's in charge of the building because they locked people in the building during an anthrax scare. And I wanted to know what jerk off, there's other words I could say, man, oh, I'm holding back so much, you don't know, locked the people in the building during an anthrax scare. Hey, you can't go anywhere, we're going to lock you in. Even though there's a possibility there can be anthrax in here, we're going to lock you in. So these cretins, cowards, wouldn't divulge who is in charge of the building. Eventually we're going to find out. So anyway, let's get to this. The circuit court head, administrative head, clerk of the court for Baltimore City, Xavier Washington, and what he has to say. And this is regarding the electronic court system and what's going on. Cue it up. There we go.
Nothing else can be fixed unless we address the staffing shortages where we have at least 50 positions unfilled, including the deputy clerk and the assistant deputy clerk positions unfilled, and we need to make sure that we can go in and see what's happening and maybe possibly have an audit, if possible, assistant deputy clerk positions unfilled, and we need to make sure that we can go in and see what's happening and maybe possibly have an audit.
Okay, you're so full of BS, Bravo Sierra. You're so full of shizer. There should have been an audit, but no audit has been done yet. There has not been an audit. With the Circuit Court for Baltimore City, there is allegedly, Xavier, hey, listen up, because I've got all the receipts, you and your mommy, okay, and Sheila. I got the receipts about the alleged falsification of documents, in order to get the MDEC set up. An audit had to be passed. An audit was done, allegedly. An audit was done. Taxpayers' money for decades was being paid, decades, by the city inhabitants, residents, into the Circuit Court for Baltimore City. And guess what? They were exempt. The Baltimore City Council and the mayor's office were exempt from these fees that were being paid in for decades. Gee whiz, I wonder how much money that was. And that was going on during Sheila Dixon's administration while she was the president of the city council and the mayor. Here we go with Sheila again. Didn't she have a gift card issue? And Frank, his grandpappy, he was the clerk of the court. So these records being showing these monies, decades coming in, you couldn't put the MDEC up. And I have the receipts of why, and I asked them. I asked the administrative office of the courts, hey guys, why is it taking so long for the Baltimore City Circuit Court? What's the problem? What's the holdup? Why can't you get the MDEC online? And they gave me some cock and bull excuse. I knew what the real reason was. I already knew the real reason. Saw the documentation. Okay. And the circuit court went on through, allegedly falsifying records, a lot of them, over a lot of years. And then here comes Xavier in, and he continued the falsification of records, allegedly continued. And I asked him about it. I've got the receipts. No response. Nothing. Shh. Let me go and continue of what young Xavier has to say.
Possible to really find out where the money's being sent, where the resources, and how we can get that aligned so we can step in day one, hit the ground running, and really try to get these problems fixed. This electronic system, yet we do not have it. So I am going to request the General Assembly again to see if they can get an investigation to find out why we're one of the only two, us in Prince George's County, but me for Baltimore City, why we do not have an electronic record system.
Persuasions to make the Maryland electronic court system, up and working and accessible as soon as possible. What type of work went behind that, and what were the challenges? What did it take to get it up and running, and how has it been working so far?
Yes, so you're absolutely right. We were, for everyone who doesn't know, the MDEC, the Maryland Electronic Courts, was the new electronic system that was implemented across the state. Baltimore City was the last jurisdiction to implement it
because you had to pass an audit that you failed to get the MDEC system set up, because you had fees that were showing that were paid in to the circuit court for decades that should not have been listed. So those fees had to be wiped, allegedly, from the system so that they wouldn't show, so that you could pass the audit and then brag and talk about you the best thing since sliced bread, and you got the MDEC set up and how the people helped you, and you did this and you got it set up and all. And yeah, right, you're a fraud. Let me go ahead.
We are the largest, the most complex circuit court in the state.
See, that's the BS they tried to sell me. Well, because we're so big. Please, what do you think? You think I'm an idiot? Oh, we're so big. No. Baltimore was slated to have the electronic court system set up first. Don't you think these people realized prior to having Baltimore slated to have the MDEC system set up first? Don't you think they knew Baltimore was the largest court system in the state? Don't you think they knew that already? Of course they knew that already, but they had it set up to be the first jurisdiction to have the MDEC set up, but they ran into a little bump. They ran into a problem. Okay, let me continue.
We have 3 different buildings. We have so many different floors, and anyone who's...
We have 3 buildings, and we don't even know who's in charge of the buildings, because Xavier wouldn't answer the question as well. Would not answer the question.
The courthouse knows there's not a lot to work with the infrastructure. That's why I'm so optimistic, because the fact that we're able to implement MDEC successfully, that vastly improves the services.
No, what happened is this. They finished allegedly falsifying the records. It took years to go over all those records for decades, to go in, ouch, and wipe them. But guess what? The bank still has that information. The comptroller of Baltimore City, they still have that information. There needs to be a full investigation of decades of alleged falsification of records by Marilyn Bentley and Xavier Washington Conaway. There needs to be a full investigation to find out what happened to all that taxpayer money. Where'd it go? What happened to it? There needs to be a full investigation on that. Let me continue.
Well, the public just proved to people that I was serious about fixing the the clerk's office fixing the circuit court, showing that it can be an office that puts people first, that puts employees first.
Okay, here. This is how he puts employees first, you jackass. What he does is, if you're 1 minute late, usually they give you between, 7 to 10. Well, 1 minute. This creep punishes his employees if they're 1 minute late. That's what kind of ass clown you have in here, to be that evil and to be that young at the same time. Oh, there's more. The retaliation that goes on, they're scared of him because he retaliates. I don't know if you've all seen, I don't know, I'm old enough to remember at least the reruns of this, and the Twilight Zone, and Billy Mummy. Y'all can look it up. Look it up on YouTube. Billy Mummy, the episode of the Twilight Zone, he was this kid, and he had this power, and he could just do anything he wanted to the adults. You're a bad man. You're a very bad man. And just turn people into donkeys and do all kinds of crazy, just by thinking if you got them upset, so all these adults would be around them, scared of him. Billy Mummy from Lost in Space. Okay? And they would be scared of him, just frightened, because he could just think and he could do horrible things to you. And they were just trying to figure out how are we going to get rid of this kid. That's you, Xavier. You're Billy Mummy. That's who you are. We're in the Twilight Zone, and you are the clerk of the court, and you're a bad man. You're a very bad man. And having people fired and pushing people out. What you did to Kim Banks was a disgrace, you rat bastard. And the sheriff's office was involved in that as well. What you people did to Kim Banks was a disgrace. A widow has a daughter working hard, and because you just, hey, we're going to retaliate, we got her. And the judge's son, Colby, literally did the same thing she did. Colby Smith, I think this kid's name was. Literally did the same thing that Kim Banks did. And what did he do? Set her up. Did Colby Smith get even written up? Nothing. Said, hey, you can resign, Kim Banks. We won't fire you. Shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. And then fired her. Took away her benefits. You snake. You disgusting, pathetic human being. But that's okay, because God always gets the last word. You better repent, turn around, because what's coming for you, boy, God he always has the last say. He always does. And I'm going to get off of that. Oh, no, I'm not. I digress. Let me finish up to hear what the snake has to finish, what he's finished saying. Go ahead, snake.
To make sure that we can do what's best for the public, the circuit court, showing that it can be an office that puts people first, that puts employees first.
Right.
To make sure that we can do what's best for the public, and we've accomplished so much. But it took a lot to get it to where it needs to be, because the office before I stepped in for 6 years under my predecessor was a complete disaster, and I do not overstate that in any way. It was a complete disaster.
Now he's talking about Marilyn Bentley. If it was such a disaster, why did you continue, allegedly, falsifying records? If it was such a disaster, why did you continue with the mayor's office and the fees paid and the Baltimore City Council fees paid? They were exempt from. Why did you continue, allegedly, wiping it from the system? But guess what? It's not wiped from the system. The comptroller. Hey, Bill, why don't you look into it? Of course he won't. Of course he won't. I think there should be an investigation, maybe possible a federal investigation into that. But let's go to what's going on right now. I mentioned it in the beginning of the show. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, are being fired by Russia into Ukraine because Joe Biden They should invoke the 25th Amendment. He's trying to start World War II. He's a cuckoo clock. He's crazy. Get him out of there. Get him out of World War III. Freudian slip. World War III. Get Biden. Get him out of there. Evoke Amendment 25. Get him out. He's trying to start World War III before Trump gets in. That's what he's trying to do. That's going to kill hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people from this crazy nut job, or whoever's behind him. He's probably asleep. Somebody else is pushing the buttons. So you got to get him out of there before World War III starts. And I'm going to go ahead and play this about what is getting ready to go down and what has happened. World War III at the precipice.
The Ukrainian Air Force saying Russia has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile in the central eastern city of Dnipro. Wow. If true, this would be the first known use of these powerful nuclear-capable missiles. And this as the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv has reopened following an urgent warning that Russia might launch a significant air attack on the capital city. Tensions remain high in the region after Ukraine used long-range British missiles and American-made ballistic missiles to strike Russian territory for the first time.
Yeah, we gave them long-range missiles, Ukraine. So they're firing missiles over at Russia, long-range, with United States right there on the missile. And that's what Joe Biden did. So Zelensky, this guy in his green little outfits, walking around like Gazoo, in his green, getting hundreds of billions of dollars from us. That money needs, when Trump gets in there, I hope he gets that money back, so he can give it to the homeless, the veterans who need it, people who really need those funds, illegal immigrants. No. Our people need that money. People who are barely making it from paycheck to paycheck. People, our citizens, United States citizens, they need those funds. They need to get those funds in, 10,000s and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars from somebody coming in here illegally, and they got bank cards and food and everything and being set up. They only have to pay for where they're living expenses. It's all being taken care of, and our veterans are on the street starving, living in their cars or living in the street. Joe Biden is a disgrace. More than a disgrace. Disgrazie. And that's what he is. So I am so glad Trump won. Get him out. And Commie Kamala, who's nothing but a daggone Marxist communist, thank God that she did not when the people came to them senses and they gave a mandate, and people don't like it. Too bad. Suck it up, buttercup. But as you see things improving, unless Biden starts World War III, this will all be for naught. So just pray, you Christians, you good Christians out there, not the fake ones. Not the fake who are going to vote for abortions and communism and all kinds of other crazy stuff. They were going to vote for all that. You should be ashamed of yourselves. But guess what? You lost. God jumped in and said, nope, this country's not going to go there. No, y'all done gone far enough. This is too far. And too many good Christians were on their knees praying that this country wouldn't keep sliding down the abyss, down the toilet. And on that note, I'm going to leave you all. This is Sean Sims. I'm your host of the Outsiders Podcast, telling it like it is. And we're here to do two things: chew bubble gum and kick ass. And we're all out of bubble gum. Okay, y'all. God bless. Take care. Sean Sims from the Outsiders. Goodbye.